Back a couple months ago, I did an episode with Brandon Maddox, who is the founder and owner of Silencer Central. You should listen to that episode. It's episode 197. I love this company, I love this brand, and I love the American-made product that Silencer Central produces. I use the Banish 30 on my hunting rifle, and if you guys follow me on Instagram and you saw that video I put together, you'll see that it's not like what Hollywood portrays it as. It's not like it silences the rifle down into nothing, but it makes a huge difference. Like, my ears don't ring when I shoot. The animals don't know where the shot is coming from. It disorients the sound, and Silencer Central makes it super easy for you guys. Jump on to silencercentral.com and pick one out. You could ship your rifle to them. They'll thread your barrel. They'll ship it back. This is like a 10-day process, and the ATF process is shortened significantly. It's like down to 48 hours or less. It's the best time ever to get a silencer on your weapon, and you should check it out because it really is a game changer. SilencerCentral.com is where you could find them, or you can call 866-891-4494, and they're happy to answer questions. It's crazy. They actually have people that answer their phone. Again, guys, go to SilencerCentral.com. It's one of my favorite sponsors out there. These guys are just absolutely world-class with these world-class products, and I can't recommend putting a silencer on your hunting rifle enough. Save your ears, disorient the sound in case you need another shot. I mean, it's a game changer, folks. Check it out. Experience the evolution of accuracy with the new Browning X-Bolt 2. Guys, this rifle is something else. With the introduction of the X-Bolt, Browning has set a new standard in the development of bolt-action rifles. It was created around the goal of total accuracy, where every component worked in unison to improve downrange performance straight out of the box, from windswept tundras to rocky peaks high above the tree line to African plains and everywhere in between. The X-Bolt delivered the tack-driving accuracy a Browning rifle is respected for. And that's super true, guys. I really like this rifle from a standpoint of, like, it's not super heavy, it's not super light. I put a really nice scope on it. I love that Veritech stock because that is like one of those pieces of accuracy that, that interface between the rifle and the shooter. Not everybody's the same size. The DLX trigger, you can get the Plus magazine system for extra rounds. Great all-around rifle in the field. For those of you that are looking for a rifle this year to take to the field that you can feel real confident in and get really comfortable with, this is the rifle to check out. The Browning X-Bolt 2 should be one of your top contenders. Link is in the show notes. There exists a threat, from anti-hunting groups to politicians trying to give our land away, and we won't stand for it. Those vast western landscapes provide the space for our wildlife to thrive and a place for hunters and anglers to fuel the fire that sparks their soul. In this show, we share our love of hunting, fishing, and conservation. Here, we provide the foundation to meet these threats through passion and the grit of the American outdoorsman. Welcome to the Western Huntsman podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of the Western Huntsman podcast. This is Jim Huntsman, your host, coming at you from the Broken Tine studio here in Northwest Montana, brought to you by Eastman's Hunting Journals. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We are carrying on this September Dreams concept that you guys seem to really like. So, and I really like recording them. So we're going to carry on. My buddy, Kurt Stick, I'm going to say his name shorter than usual. So Kurt Stick is on, and Kurt is somebody I know. I've known him like on Facebook forever. And I've always commented on some of his posts. He's commenting on my posts, and I've just always really liked him. Thought he'd be good to have on the show anyway. Well, it just so happens he knocked over a bull this September, and so I hit him up. I'm like, this is a perfect opportunity to get this guy on and get to know him a little bit better, because he's just he's funny. And just a cool dude. I've just always really liked him on this whole. It's funny how social media works, Kurt.
Yeah,
But I appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for joining me.
yeah, it's an honor and a privilege, Mr. Huntsman, sir.
Oh, Mr. Huntsman, even.
Yeah, hey man, I gotta shout out to you because it's definitely my favorite podcast, bar
Hey,
none. But
well,
I mean, I really love what you do because
I
you're
appreciate that.
maybe some years back I was saying somebody ought to get a podcast going, and get the politics kind of ramped up on this because there's so
Yeah.
much going on and nobody's really talking about it or bringing awareness to it. And then there's Jim's already doing that. I mean,
Yeah. It's.
Washington in trouble, you know that. And
Oh man.
all
Yeah,
the stuff.
they're always under fire, man.
It's
In
bad.
Washington. It is. And it's like one of those hot potatoes nobody wants to hold on to. The discussion, because it kind of I never like to I never want to have like this party line thing, but the problem is it comes from the same side every time, and it's people that are full of emotion. They're full of information that is like picked apart, like the actual facts are kind of pulled out of it and fed to these folks that really don't know anything about wildlife management and conservation and what hunting does for that. They see us as a bunch of gun-toting rednecks out there just wanting to kill stuff, and it's just not what it is. And so I was like, man, somebody's got to talk about this, because everybody kind of avoids that whole topic,
Well, you gotta toe the line a little bit, but
Yeah.
obviously you get too political on the congressional side of things. Apparently that just gets you killed now. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
gotta
know. I
you gotta be
know.
careful. But like Eastman's and like those meat eater guys, they did a
Uh-huh.
real good job when that Utah thing came up and the big land grab, and man,
Yeah,
everybody spoke out about that and really shut it down,
they did, man. That I don't
But,
think they expected that. Yeah.
but
It-
states like, California's probably just a lost cause, but Washington's going down the tubes fast, and they need help over there.
they
My
do.
my stepdad, he guides for like moose, and he's a real avid trapper over in Washington, and I'm just constantly hearing about the worst of the worst that's going on over there. They're trying to get rid of predator hunting altogether. Like you can't even go out and shoot coyotes.
You can't. What was that last part you said? You can't even
Coyotes.
what? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No, I know.
they're trying to get you. I mean, there was one hunter, pro hunter, on like the board over there, and he just got so fed up with it he resigned.
Yeah, the commission over there is a mess, man. And what happens is you have like in states like Washington, and I think this happens when you get these big metro areas, like Seattle and Olympia, and you know they kind of you get these extremists, these pro right or animal rights activists that have this value set that really isn't based in reality. And I've talked about this a bunch, man, but here what I think happens is they have this value set that's not based in reality. And where that comes from is we have these our lives in this, first world problems that we have. Our pizza's late from the delivery driver. We have these things that are just not that challenging in life, right? I mean, we can get groceries whenever we want. We can go to a restaurant. We've got roofs over our head. We're just like this, modern society with all the luxuries and benefits of having that kind of society. And one of the bad things that comes out of that is people are by nature just tribal, and they want to connect to something, and they want to feel like they're kind of fighting for something. And when they don't have anything to fight for, we start getting into these things about, oh well, now I'm trans and I'm going to fight for this cause, and I'm going to shoot people that don't agree with it, or I hate people that kill animals and I want to kill them, and I want to murder the people that are out there hunting animals because those poor innocent animals don't deserve it, while they shove a cheeseburger down their throat, and that's we get this tribalism. and this just mode of I don't know, man, groupthink, and it just takes hold, and these extremists push it, and then the folks that are just, they're not hunters and they're not anti-hunters, they're just kind of regular people that don't really care one way or the other, get easily swayed by these high dollar ads and this high dollar, legislative actions that they take, and paying and under the table these commissioners and whatever else shady stuff. Shady stuff goes on out there. And they have all this money to throw at it, and it's burying us as hunters. We're getting buried by the amount of money that they can raise from like Aunt Susie that watches a PETA ad on Facebook and falls for it, and I don't really know what the solution here is yet.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Outreach, it's hard to spread the message if people don't, got to shove it in their face like it's CNN or something. Otherwise, they have no idea. The same kind of people that have, never slept in a hammock in grizzly country.
Yeah,
so they don't have the slightest idea.
Yeah, man. Well, before we go down any of those rabbit hole or trails,
we're already getting off track here.
Let's back up a little bit, and I'm hoping you can kind of give everybody a little bit of background. Tell us who you are, where you came from, where you're at now, and what you do and all that kind of stuff, and go from there.
Yeah. So I started off as an apple maggot. I grew up over in Spokane.
For those of you that don't know, apple maggots are what Idahoans call Washingtonians that come over there and take all our fishing holes.
Yeah. Well, God bless them. I still got family over there, so gotta be a little respectful, I guess. But I grew up hunting there, a lot of duck hunting. Killed my first couple of deer over there, and kind of fell off to in high school for a garage band venture, and that was pretty cool until everybody else fell off the map there. But
that happens.
And got out of high school. I didn't waste any time. Less than a week later, I was in North Idaho, and moved up Priest Lake, and that's why I mentioned the hammock in the grizzly country, because I was basically living in a hammock there for a couple summers, and I had a wall tent that I actually ended up buying from the landlord up there. I got that set up in my yard. Moved over to Sandpoint, back and forth from there in Priest Lake for a while, and just kind of inherited a business from a good buddy of mine, and took that over, started a little LLC, and been working for myself. I'm the boss at work, but
nice,
not necessarily at home.
What kind of business is this?
I do a lot of everything, really. If I had it my way, I'd get old and pretty much only mow lawns, but that's a bread and butter kind of thing. But I do stonework, construction. I love doing tile.
Nice.
Whatever kind of comes my way, some forestry stuff. Running the chainsaw all the time. So just
cool.
Jack of all trades and master of probably nothing.
Well, join the club, man. That's what I do.
Yeah, you do a lot, man. It's a good way to live, though. I mean, that's the nice thing about being your own boss. That I get all the time I want. Thanks. All credit due to the wife, because she's just an all-around badass. So she lets me get away with going out and spending a lot of time in September and even into October, November.
I know that's
borderline irresponsible amount of time in the woods.
It's funny you say that. That's like the second time I've heard that this week. Borderline irresponsible amount of time in the woods. Because it's true, man. I should have been kind of back taking care of some of my roof jobs, going on yesterday. And instead I ended up with my buddy Rob. We were hunting bears up there, and it's not what we went up there for. We were going to check some cameras it's for the outfitter, check some cameras on some of the wallows and whatnot. And we ended up, we were like, oh yeah, we'll be home by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Nope. We didn't get home till about 6 p.m., man. We dropped down way in this hole and went after a bear, and And that's what it was. It was borderline irresponsible. I should have been at home writing up bids and stuff like that and checking on a job I had going, But
Well, you only
part
live
of it, that's why I work for myself, I suppose. I don't have to answer to anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
You do a lot of roofing.
Yeah. Yeah, my company is strictly a roofing company. That's all I do. So
I did. That's another thing that I do. I've done a lot,
yeah.
mostly metal roofs, but I mean, you're probably familiar with like All Surface out of Spokane.
Oh yeah, I know those guys.
Yeah, I worked for them for like a summer doing. I think we did the VA over
Oh
there
yeah.
on South Hill and part of one of the buildings, one of the college buildings out at SFCC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. So a lot of commercial stuff.
Yeah, a little bit of that membrane TPO stuff.
Oh yeah.
That was interesting, but I'm a North Idaho guy, so I'm just like, why just put metal on it?
I know. I know.
Don't waste your time.
I'd like to say I'm a strictly metal roofing company, but people love the idea of metal until they see the price, and then they're like, "No, this is just put a shingle roof on it."
Yeah.
So, but I get it. It's expensive. Not getting any cheaper. So, you walk us through this hunting season, man. I kind of want to like. First of all, what's your approach to September? Like, are you a big time caller? Are you a big time spot and stock guy? Do you like to sit wallows? Kind of walk us through what your approach is to September, and let's roll into how you got this elk.
Well, I've been trying and failing for years, with the chasing bulls around in September, and it started out with a lot of calling and a lot of listening and not even really knowing what I was doing. But my approach has definitely changed more towards less calling and more listening and a lot of hiking.
Yeah.
I mean, if I have one piece of advice for someone who doesn't know, just cover ground. Uh, I'm notorious for dragging people into hellholes and getting stuck in alder brush patches that are, well, there's alder brush and then there's alder trees that for some reason love to grow over old logging roads. And I find like 400 square yard patches of that and get stuck in it. So
that's why my those alderbrush that reprod. That's what you're talking about, right? That just nasty.
Climb over it and crawl under it and push it out of the way all at the same time.
It's so crazy when you go a mile through that stuff. Like, you are using muscles that most humans don't ever use, and that's why my I was telling you before we hit record, I got whacked in the face by one of those little branches from them, got me right in the eyeball, and like the girl that does these real things for my Instagram at Eastman's. She like zoomed way in right after it happened on my face. It was so funny. And made this little recording or whatever to put on the old Instagram there. And it looked like somebody socked me right in the eyeball. I had this big old black eye. I was like half shut, and I still feel like it's half shut. So I've got kind of I'm a little self-conscious about it, but really, I don't really give a damn, whatever. But that stuff is nasty.
That stuff is no joke. Neither is, I guess we call it tag alder, which is more like the brushy stuff, which can get up to 6-7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Some places, but I bust a lot of brush, and I do a lot of I'll do some locating, calling, but I've also kind of just got bulls locked down in some areas. You know how you just know they're in there every year.
Yep.
You kind of know how to make a play on them, and you usually screw it up.
Yep. That story of my life right there, man.
Yeah, that's kind of my MO. So, but that all changed this year, man. I got lucky.
How'd you get lucky? Were you going through some of that? Was this a bull that you kind of knew would be in that area, or is this like
No,
new country?
yeah. I was way back in the back corner of completely different country, and the day before, actually I kind of bumped and located probably four different elk in this massive drainage, but I wanted to take this hike and just check the whole area out and some like mountain lakes that were tucked back in there. And so I did this whole 12-mile loop and kind of got an idea. Okay, there's elk here, there's elk there. There's deer. These deer were the dumbest freaking whitetails, way up in the high mountain whitetails that they acted like they'd never seen a human before. There's like a dozen of them.
Oh
It was
yeah.
crazy. It was cool, but
Any big
but
ones?
no, nothing with even antlers on it. I don't think.
Oh, really?
But
Just whitetail does running
I
around?
mean, yeah, I'd be sitting there making noise, eating a snack or something. They'd come walking right up on me and stand up and look at them, and they'd just kind of turn their head and what the hell
Yeah,
is that? But it was
that's funny.
that turned into like a 12.5 mile hike all day. By the time I'm getting myself back out of the bottom of nowhere, there's elk bugling again all over the place. It's like, man, I don't even know where to start. I'm going to bed. Next day, overslept
Yep.
and did some fishing. I mean, I caught myself a little rainbow trout, and I was like, yeah, I'll throw that in the cooler for later. And trying to, I got buddies kind of out in the area, and they were chasing after completely different elk. And so I just kind of hung around camp and did a little bit of scouting, and then went back and I caught a bull trout right at my camp, and I'm
Oh,
talking
really?
talking like 24-inch bull trout on
Wow.
a 3 weight fly rod with 3 pound test. I
Nice, man.
wasn't
That's
planning
pretty
on
cool.
that. Wasn't planning on that, but I was like, what do I have in my fly box that'll catch something like that? And it ended up being a tiny little San Juan worm with like a multicolored bead in the middle.
Oh yeah, I know
It was
exactly what you're talking about.
like a size 14 hook or something,
Yeah,
tiny
yeah.
little thing. And whoop, it ate it. Caught it.
Sweet.
I was like, oh yeah, this is turning into a great day. So I don't know where my buddies were. I was trying to like meet up with them. I think I was trying to feed them tacos or something, and they never showed up. So I just drove up the road from camp a little ways, and I'm gonna check out this knob. I get up there, and like by the time I get up there, right away I bumped a couple of cows. I'm pretty sure right off the
What
top.
what time of day is this, Kurt?
By the time I got up there, it was you know 7 o'clock almost.
Okay.
It was like 6:30 at night.
And what date? Like in September? I think this is all critical information for
Oh
those
yeah,
listening.
yeah. This would have been the 12th,
The 12th. Okay. Cool.
the night before, and so I'm wandering around on this cool little bridge with a saddle, big saddle in it that's just like 4 foot tall ferns, and here's this rub on a little pecker pole, just shredded as high as I can reach. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
huh, that's odd. I wonder if that's a moose, because it was
Yeah.
so big. And then I hear this little locator kind of bugle down off in the other side of the saddle, and I'm like, uh-oh, I wonder how far that actually is. I dropped down into the other side of the saddle and gave him a little locator back, and he fired back off, but he sounded a little pissed, like, hey, back off. I was like, okay, I'll back off. It's
Really?
it's 7:15. It's getting dark. Like I'm not, in the past I probably would have just ran down in there and tried to get in on them and totally screwed it all up.
Yeah.
But I was like, no, I'm not doing that. The wind's not in my favor. I don't even know what the terrain's like in there. I'm just maybe I'll come back in the morning and kind of drop the pin on the old Onyx and backed out of there, went back to camp, and I was like, texted the old wife on the Garmin, like, hey, pray for me, I guess. I'm getting up. Pray that I get up and don't screw it up.
Yeah.
She's like, okay. Me and the girls all prayed for you. I'm like, sweet. Sure enough, alarm doesn't even go off next morning, and I'm up. I'm like, all right, let's go get some little coffee going. It's like 3 a.m, and head back up the road. And I was probably 800 yards, 900 yards from where I was actually camped. When I parked my little four-wheeler and jumped off and started going straight up in the dark. I was like, wind in my face. You know how the wind is almost always blowing straight downhill in the morning.
Oh yeah, man.
And that's like my number one go-to tactic, but also the bane of my existence, because it's never easy.
Yeah.
Going straight up in the dark. But
I just pulled a picture up of your bull here, by the way. I just wanted to see it. Anyway, keep going.
I got him sitting over here.
Yeah, you might have to show the video watchers later when we get to it.
Yeah, busted up through again alders and alder brush, and then some more alders. And there's some old overgrown logging roads up there, and by the time what is it, 5:15 rolls around, it's starting to get a little light, and I can see a little better, so not as noisy. And I kind of stop here and there and do a little bit of displaying. Just and so this came to my knowledge toolbox from the Broken Time Studio.
Oh yeah.
I don't know who said it, but they mentioned bringing an old shed antler with them.
Oh, that's the Dammerman Death Horn, man.
The Dammerman Death Horn.
Yeah, the Dammerman. We've made that thing famous. I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, the secret's out, man.
They work, huh?
Well, I tell you what. Well, so I was packing that damn thing around with a bow and a tube. It's not fun.
Yeah, no.
But I'd stop periodically, and the further up I went, the more torn up it got. I was like, okay, this is starting to look real good. I'm on this finger. I think he's up there. So I've little display, little rake, little call, little stomping around, and he'd fire off. And on his own accord. I was kind of letting him talk. I'm pretty sure he was just talking to his cows. So, all right. Well, there he is. By the time I was, quarter mile from him, I actually dropped my pack and marked it, and just grabbed the antler and my tube and my bow and trucked back all the way up to the top of his finger. And that's where everything just came together.
So, like, from a standpoint of he started bugling back at your were you raking a bunch with that Dammerman Death Horn? I call it Dammerman Death Horn, for those of you that might not know, is an elk shed that you take up, and instead of raking with a stick, you're raking and making a bunch of ruckus with an actual elk antler, and it is more effective. Like the elk do respond to it better, and I think that's a really important point. I'm glad you used that, dude, because I was using it a lot too, but I was guiding most of the month, so I wasn't even carrying a bow. And so I had the advantage. I could put my tube in one hand and that elk shed in the other. And I put like electric tape or something on the tip so I don't like stab my client on accident or whatever. But man, it was definitely, I got better reactions with this bad boy. So is that kind of what you were doing? You were raking a bunch and just getting them to bugle?
And kind of as I'm walking through some thick stuff, I'll hold it up and let it kind of brush on some of those antlers, because you've heard a bull walk through the woods or run through the woods. You hear them antlers hitting branches as they're going through. So I was kind of doing a lot of that, doing some raking and just display calls, nothing too aggressive, and some locators. And again, didn't really care. By then, he knew I was down there, but he was still just kind of talking to his cows. He wasn't really directly responding to me, but he knew I was coming.
Yeah.
And so I just closed that distance. Little did I know that distance was like 60 yards, 70 yards.
60 or 70 yards, is that what you said?
By the time I made the next sound,
Uh-huh.
and because I popped up and I was like, well, I'm on top of this finger, so I'm going to see what happens. And I could hear him, I heard him kind of moan over there. So I did a quick little on the branch next to me. There's a little bent over tree. And I kind of went, and he just barked. And, my heart skipped a beat. I'm like, oh, shit.
Oh, he barked at you?
Well, he barked, but then he kind of moany chuckled. It was like a kind of a sporadic, real quiet, but
I know where it's almost like there's no squeal to it. It's more like a
yeah,
kind of thing,
yeah.
you know?
And there was like one little high pitched squeal in there on like the third chuckle.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
so he did that, and I was trying to just keep my cool because I was like, I've screwed this so many times that I'm probably going to screw this up. So why not just have some fun with it? And so what I do and what you should do probably in that situation is bark and chuckle or bark and bugle back to
Yeah.
say, because what I've been told and kind of understand of it is when they bark and chuckle at you, it's like, hey, I know you're there, show yourself.
Yeah, I
And
think
you
that's
gotta say,
not.
no, you show yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind
I
of,
think that's not too far off. I don't know.
really, it's kind of an emotion more than,
Hmm.
it's not a translatable language necessarily, but
It's almost
yeah,
like it's almost as if they're frustrated that you're that close and they can't see you, kind of
yeah.
thing, and they're letting you know. And I don't know, man.
So I fired back with again, quiet, kind of lazy, not too, because I was taking his temperature too, and he was kind of hot, but he wasn't super pissed. He knew I was there, so I barked and just kind of moany bugled back very softly and kind of gave him a few pants, and
Hmm.
here he came, crashing, just all of a sudden I see them white tines through. I was like, I don't got time to count. I'm full draw at that point.
Uh-huh.
He's drumming and he comes in, posts up, steps up on this little mound of dirt with our favorite tag alder
Uh-huh.
right in front of him. And there's one little branch of tag alder in the middle standing up, and it's kind of blocking right in front of him. And he's hard quartered to, frontal setup and looking down just right at me. And I'm like, I gotta kind of lean in around this tree and that tag alder and snuck it right in frontal. And
Wow. How far away was he?
17 yards is about what I
Oh,
figured.
sweet.
So he came either to look me in the eye and find out that I screwed up, or find out that he screwed up.
Hmm.
He screwed up big time.
How far did he go after you got the arrow in him? It was a frontal, right?
Yeah, frontal, and he turned and ran, and at that point I was like, "What just happened?" Oh yeah, I should probably cow call or bugle or something. And so I did, and that kind of stopped him. And then it was quiet for all about 3 seconds, and I just hear
Oh, he just falls over, huh?
just breaking, and then I hear the death phone, and that's when the phone came out, and I texting everybody in the area, bull down, bull down, bull down, bull down.
Oh, you actually what did you have, phone service or using one of those
Got I carry a
the
Garmin.
InReach?
Yeah, I started getting so far out in the backcountry that my wife bought me one for like Christmas a few years back, and so now I'm paying for that subscription. But
Yeah, I got that.
good.
I got that Zoleo thing, and I think you could do this with the Garmin InReach, but you can turn it basically off, and they're still going to charge you like $3 a month or something. So like during the winter, you don't have to have. I don't know, man. I bought that Starlink Mini.
Oh
I don't take that hunting, but it's nice to have in the truck.
yeah,
Because you got to have like a battery pack. It's too much weight to take in with you, but I don't know. I'm kind of that's a totally different discussion. I want to show
the
it's
SOS
a
stuff
nice
is good.
6 point. I'm going to show like the viewers that can see it on the YouTube. I'm holding it up to the camera if they can see that picture. It's a sweet bull, man. Have you scored him at all?
No, I here I got him.
Yeah, you got him right there.
Don't
Oh,
tell the
sweet.
wife I brought him in.
Nice 6 point, man. Dark antler timber bull. Look at those fronts, man. I mean, those are like, what are those, 14, 15-inch fronts?
uh,
I
yeah,
don't
15,
know.
15. He's got you can't really see it, but he's got a little devil horn on the one side, and you can fit a ring on it. So
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm calling that a point. The other side, the other double horn hasn't really made it, but
Dude, he's a great bull, man.
oh yeah,
What?
I'm not unhappy with him.
How far did you say he went after you poked him?
So I would guess he only went 60 or 70 yards.
Really?
Um, maybe 80. By the time I walked over there, found the broken back half of my arrow
Mm-hmm.
and tracked the blood. Onyx said like 100 yards because I was still tracking, but it wasn't. There's no way it was 100 yards, especially as the crow flies. I mean, he just ran right over there. He had a little wallow next to. He had just taken a bath, I swear, because he didn't even stink that bad.
Oh, really? Yeah, just rolled in the wallow or something.
Yeah, there's a wallow right there, and he just ran right back towards it, kind of, and tipped over. Uh, so that was the after that I called and I bugled again just to try and slow him down, and then I was kind of stuck there because I realized I had a cow on my right and like two on my left, and one kind of halfway up front, and they're just trampling, running back and forth, like what the hell just happened? Like
Oh, wow. They
what are
didn't know
you
you were
doing?
there.
Yeah, how did you kick his butt? Because he's pretty big, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Interesting.
finally they took off, but yeah, I was happy to find the back half of the arrow, but I wasn't excited to try and find the front half
Huh.
because it was still in there.
Was it? Did it get his
Yeah,
heart, or because I'm
yeah,
I'm always curious with the frontal shot. It's all controversial and everything.
yeah. It was very. Yeah, I mean, he was hard quartered, so when it went in straight through, hit his first lung, and nicked his heart. I
Mhm.
I should have got a picture of it. I don't know why I didn't. But there was a slice, and then I got those little cootie bleeders. I
Uh-huh.
tried those out this year, and you can see the little tiny slice right next to it where the bleeder spun through and hit it,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then it either hit the second lung and deflected, or deflected and hit the second lung off of like his inside shoulder, and it was
Mm,
stuck just kind of right between two ribs on the other side.
wow.
So when he turned and ran, it broke the back half of the arrow. And that arrow went through and it hit and just it must have hit that shoulder and stopped.
Yeah, yeah.
And kind of bounced into his rib. But yeah,
That's a
it
great
did my
shot, man.
man.
If you could put a 600-700 animal down on that frontal shot, I mean, it really is a lethal shot, and it's not like we were actually talking about it at the outfitter there, and we were like, just kind of as a policy with when guiding, because we don't know the capabilities of the hunter when they show up. Some of these
Right.
guys, some of these guys have shot their bow like 3 times in their life, and so we don't know what they're. So we kind of frown upon the frontal shot, but for us, like I would do it. I would do it if it's sub 20 yards or so,
Well, and
and
what I think is more perfect is that he was slightly quartered
Yeah,
because
that
that
helps.
dead center frontal. I mean, my buddy's a big fan of frontal shots actually, and he's pulled broadheads out of their hind quarter because
Yeah.
it went all the way back. That's
Gosh,
kind
that's
of like,
crazy. And they're
yeah,
still running around. Yeah.
All hunters go through a thing when it comes to picking out a gun safe for security, safety, and just a good storage place for all your guns, your rifles, your shotguns, all that kind of stuff. Have you had a look at Secure-It at secureitgunstorage.com? The Agile gun safes are the ones that I really like. I really recommend. This is a modular, scalable gun safe that is way lighter than your traditional safe. So for those of you especially that like move a lot or live in an apartment or something like that, this modular gun safe is super easy to pick up, move to the next location. They have multiple sizes, and when I say modular, like mine has the rifle cabinet and then the cabinet above where I put all my ammo and everything. And this stuff has got the cradle grid technology, what they say is the revolutionary system that forever changed the way U.S. military stores and organizes guns and gear. I really like the fast lock technology when seconds count, fast access in high stress environments. It's a programmable dark mode, quiet mode, biometric on and off. Basically to get in and out of that safe as quickly as you need to without losing the security side of it. Again, very light if you're getting it up and downstairs. You live on the top floor of a condo or an apartment complex. A traditional storage gun safe is going to be really heavy to move and can cost you thousands of dollars with the moving companies. So if you guys are looking for something modular, adaptable, flexible, a really good, solid gun storage solution, check out secureitgunstorage.com. Link is in the show notes.
yeah, I would hate to like gut punch one, because I really do like tenderloins. So, but that setup, and then there was no other way. And at 17 yards, I could have just about thrown my bow at him and
Yeah.
him, so.
Yeah, that's great, man. I mean, that's a great call in too. When you can get one under 20 yards and you got him kind of quarter to you, and it's just like I'm freaking stoked you got this bull, man, because he's just a great bull. I would venture to guess he might be 300 or better, man. We got to score this sucker.
He's at least. I've been taking wagers, but we got him somewhere between 3 and 320. I actually this afternoon I stopped by. There's a new tackle shop down there on the end of Dufert Road.
Uh-huh.
It's Fishers of Men.
Oh, I've heard of that.
Yeah, you heard of them?
I've heard of them, yeah.
Well, I was like, what the heck am I got to stop in because what they're doing if you bring in your bowl and get a picture, they're giving away a bow.
Oh, nice.
So
you should do that.
Well, I did. So I stopped in to enter it, and they're waiting because Boone and Crockett rules is like 6 weeks to dry.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna have like a cook off with everybody, hot dogs and hamburgers and all that good stuff, and actually measure everybody's bowls. And I guess this year they're giving it to whoever had the biggest one, and somebody already brought in like a 343 or something. So
oh, really?
So probably not going to win the bow, but it's still. There's a lot of guys. Tyler brought his bow by. The guy was showing me pictures. I was like, "Oh, hey, he made it in."
Huh.
Entered his bow, but yeah, it's a really cool shop. That shameless plug to the guy I just met.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I didn't actually tape. I haven't thrown a tape on it. Why not wait till it's dry and
yeah.
I'll just add a couple points every year, a couple inches or something. No big deal.
Yeah. Just let it grow.
Well, he's a bigger deal to me than he is a bull overall. I mean, not that he's not a great bull, but the fact that I've been hard after it and chasing these guys every single year with a bow and failing miserably over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It all came together. And the coolest thing, when I texted everybody bull down, my wife obviously being one of them, she was like, no way. And then my oldest daughter was like, God answered our prayers. And I was like, you got that right, kiddo. Like,
Yeah,
she
man.
totally, it all just poof, came rushing in. It was a big moment. And then
I
to
love
have
it.
my buddies there, it was, it was a big deal for them. But they saved my ass, man. There was no way I was getting all that off the mountain fast enough by myself, because by the time you got it off there, it was still at least a mile and a half from the nearest road.
Yeah.
And the head and the cape, because I was like, well, I'm gonna mount him. I might not make that mistake again, Jim.
Yeah, you might not, man. It might not. You never know, dude. I think that's a great idea. If I killed that bull, I would definitely have that sucker mounted, man. I've never got one north of 300. I'm like a small elk killer, I guess. But
Well,
so what do you think, like, lesson wise, was there something you learned this season that maybe maybe in previous seasons you had like a thought as to what elk do or what they didn't do or whatever? I don't know. I always ask this in a weird way, but like, what did you learn this season you think listeners would benefit from knowing?
well, I'd say the big thing, at least for me, is listen. You know, and part of the reason I love hunting with a buddy and partner, but I hunt solo mostly, and part of that is just because the quiet of
Yeah.
the tranquility, and you know how you just feel that energy of whether or not there's even something in the woods, and if these birds are chirping and the squirrels are barking, and there's probably going to be an elk bugling,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of the time of year, which apparently they just do it all year now,
Yeah.
in my experience.
Yeah, they did.
But
Well, yeah,
listen,
yeah. Listen, that is a good one, man. I really like that you said that, because, and we talked about this on some of the school September's before season, is one of the big things that I've been kind of going into each season the last few years is slowing way down, slow way down.
yeah,
Don't go stomping through, bugling your head off. And as soon as you get a response, go running up there. And like if you slow down and just listen to what they're telling you, and just listen to the woods around you. I don't know. I think it makes a big difference in.
especially I think with quiet and maybe somewhat pressured bulls.
Yeah.
You kind of want to give them space to feel comfortable to do what they want, which is oftentimes talk.
Yeah.
And then you kind of make a play, sneak in there and be like, hey, I'm a cow, or I'm a
Hmm.
bull. That's, I'm just a pipsqueak, but you got my attention, kind of thing, and I try to get in that headset. If I was that elk, or if I was an elk, what would I do to go get my butt kicked by this bigger bull?
Yeah.
There's probably something stupid like go rake my antlers right next to his cows. But in order to get there, because there's that scenario when you're sitting there having a snack, and all of a sudden, 40 yards downhill from you, there's a screaming bull.
Yeah.
And so what do? You throw your backpack back on and you go running after that sucker.
Oh yeah,
And
man.
then you're in a screaming match for however many miles before he either outruns you or you catch him off guard.
Yep.
But that's one scenario, but you can't count on that every single time. You gotta sometimes just play it cool and
Yeah, man. It's
feel
just a
them out.
rare. Yeah. Yeah, and it's a rare thing for an elk to be like super chatty, right? It's
Yeah,
usually
it's
you
bad.
really have to work them up to that point, and I one thing that I had, my daughter Shiloh and I were out earlier in the season before I even started guiding this year, and we kind of go up this draw, and all of a sudden we start hearing this bugle, and I'm like listening to it, The bugles were okay for a minute, and then I started realizing, and I'd answered I just let off a bugle, and it got this other bull real excited. Well, it wasn't a bull; it was another hunter. And as he got closer and started doing some chuckles and stuff, you could really tell it was a hunter. And this guy was way too frisky with the calls, from a standpoint like it was super unrealistic. And elk are not that cognizant from like they just think they're hearing a bull for the most part, but they also know when something's just not natural. And like, so every sound I gave, this guy would answer back immediately. And then I was like, well, let's switch it up. And my daughter and I admittedly, we were kind of messing with him. So I'd throw out a little cow call, and all of a sudden you thought there was 300 cows around us, because he's just meow, 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 meow with his cow call. And it's like, man, like when you get a bugle, you don't have to respond immediately. You don't, like, think about it. When I get a bugle back, I usually pull out my phone and I pull up my Onyx and I kind of look where I'm at and I try to figure out where is this bull most likely going to be, and then maybe I'll bugle back at him. But I'm hearing guys, they're just like, as soon as they get a bugle, man, they're just right back with another one, and they think that that's going to call this bull right into them. And sure, sometimes it might, whatever. But I don't know. It's just,
There's a couple
slowing down. Yeah.
That needed to be established. And I know you agree with one of them, is the 3 consecutive cow calls means, hey, shut up, I'm a hunter. Go
Yeah.
direction.
Oh, that's right. I did make a post about that, huh? I said there should be a universal rule.
I always heard, I don't know where I heard it first, but I was like, okay, meow, meow, meow means I'm a hunter.
Well, by the power vested in me and Kurt, we declare 3 cow calls should signify that you're telling the other hunter that you're talking to a hunter, not a freaking bull. But this guy didn't care, man. I literally played like Mary Had a Little Lamb on my bugle tube, and he still kept screaming at me. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, so there's that rule, and then usually if you hear a bugle and you bugle back, if it bugles back right away, probably a hunter.
Yeah, most likely.
Most likely a hunter.
And if you're questioning it, throw some chuckles out there. And if you're a good chuckler, and hear how those chuckles come back, and that is usually the indicator. Yeah. You can really tell the difference between a real elk versus chuckles, or I'm sorry, a hunter when they start throwing chuckles out.
Just the way that it actually shakes the ground at your feet.
Yeah, man.
When it's a real bull, there's nothing like it, man.
And that deep, gravelly, graspy, growly freaking sound that comes out of a real bull, it just cannot be replicated with a bugle tube. If Phelps Game Calls ever can make a bugle tube where you can get that growl in there, I'd be pretty happy.
They're sure trying, man. It seems like.
Yeah. Yep, they are.
The new telescoping tube. I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
Did you get one of those?
I almost did.
Yeah.
Just because it packs down so small, but I got enough tubes as it is. I might as well lose them first. And,
I know.
I'll probably end up getting one, but
I know I've got like 3 tubes sitting here. I didn't even take them out this September because I've got my 2 main ones. I was using that carbon one quite a bit, that new carbon tube, and I've got my the old Renegade that I've been using for years. I had to put little notches in it every time I call in a bull, but it's got a lot of history. But
that's what I was using right there.
Yeah, same one, Renegade right there. Yep, that's the one. So that killed your bull, huh? That's the one.
Yeah, well, and I can't really show favoritism because I'm pretty sure it was on the gray, a worn out gray amp reed from last year.
Nice.
So,
nothing wrong with that, brother.
Well, yeah, an old reed, if you're going for that real soft, growly, moany, and panting kind of calling, that because they can hear it. If you're close enough, even if it's quiet, they've got the ears for it, and that is far more convincing than an in-your-face challenge call. Screaming bloody murder for apparently no reason.
Yeah, man. I think that's
blowing them out doing that.
Yeah. I think that's great. Actually, that's great advice from that standpoint. Is what you're saying? Slowing down, listening, doing quieter calls instead of trying to be like, think of it in, the stereo in your truck. You could turn that dial all the way up. Try turning it almost to the point where you can't hear it with your calls. And I've been surprised with, I could do like a super quiet cow call, and a bull will hear it like 300-400 yards away and answer me.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Like it's just, I would love, man, one day to like, if they can make it so that for an hour I could hear like an elk hears, and just to see how it, and I'd love to, like, even if it was 30 seconds, see how an elk sees,
Well, that's they make them headphones now. They got some Bluetooth ones that connect to your phone, and they're hearing protection, so they're noise canceling as soon as the gun goes off, kind of thing, for the range. And now they're adding hearing enhancement to them, so you can turn the volume up and hear a little better, a little further. And then I feel like you're kind of crossing into that gray area, because they're making like thermal spotting scopes and stuff now too. I just heard about, and it's okay, at what point is this no longer ethical? But man,
you do have to wonder that.
Hear a little further through the chatter, because I mean, just the sound of the footsteps of a bull, traveling, can make or break the whole thing. Because how many times they come in quiet, just what, I'm gonna go give this guy a sniff, and somehow they always know, the wind's blowing this way, but they come walking right before it goes that way.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, they just know. They just know, man. They do this for a living.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm trying to, I was supposed to have some fancy new hearing aids, man, because I'm super deaf from the Marines, and the VA let me down. They're like they're like, oh yeah, your hearing aids, they're gonna be here, on August 23rd or something like that. And it was the one time I had a day open, because I got to go clear down to Coeur d'Alene for this, and I'm almost 2 hours from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, and so on the Montana side here, and so just getting there, such a pain in the butt. And they weren't ready. They didn't ship them. They're like high dollar freaking hearing aids, and I feel like it cost me elk, man. I knew it from the first day out too. I took my my daughter out, and I'll bugle, and I'll just be like, man, there's nothing out here, nothing out there, blah blah blah. My daughter will be like, there's a bugle right there. I'm like, what? And then I had hunters doing it too. The clients at the lodge, they're like, oh, I just heard a bugle. I'm like, what? I didn't hear a daggum thing. And then the one guy hears this bull walking towards us. I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it at all. I was standing right next to him. And I turn around, and yep, sure enough, there's a bull standing there. And he just came in out of nowhere and surprised us, because he was kind of deaf too. So, but I'm more deaf, and he heard him before I did. And I was hoping to have him for this September, but I don't know.
Well,
what do you do?
Well, what some guys would do is get the old disabled hunters, disabled veteran permit.
I should, man.
Go after him with a crossbow.
I'd like to get that, and maybe they'll allow me to use my buddy's thermal imaging drone to locate all these animals. Just go fly it around the mountain. Be like, oh, there's a few right there.
Yeah. Well, my dad's kind of the same mindset, because he's an ex-Marine, and he could probably get some sort of disabled veteran thing,
oh, totally,
and get keys to gates and hunt with the crossbow and all that kind of stuff. He's like, nah, I'm not going to take advantage. What's the fun in that? He's too honest, I guess. And
well, it would take a lot away. I mean, if you are like truly disabled, let's say you lost a leg in Iraq or something, there you go. Go unlock a gate and get in there with a 4-wheeler or whatever and use a crossbow. That sounds fair to me. You lost your leg for your country, but like for me, I wouldn't do that. It would take the fun out of it. It's like that's not what hunting is for me. I like that it's a pain in the butt. I like the fact that it's just really hard to be successful, and like it takes a lot for everything to come together. And if it wasn't like that, I wouldn't be so obsessed with it. And it's this puzzle for me. It's always been like this puzzle for me, hunting elk specifically, where figuring out, okay, what is the right thing to say to these elk? What's the wrong thing to do? What's the right route to take? What's the next sound I should make to fool this bull into thinking that I'm like a competing herd bull that's going to steal his cows and get them all fired up, and it's that puzzle that makes it such a primal freaking thing that it is. I just
you got to get out there and make those mistakes.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to write a whole book on just mistakes, because I've made every one of them.
Yeah, well, one of them apparently being not getting them hearing aids updated. So
yeah, well, I've never had them before, and mine are not like super enhancing. Yeah, I haven't gotten them still. I don't get them until October 23rd.
Oh,
and so yeah, I'm going to Wyoming next week for a mule deer hunt, and well, the week this is released, I'll probably be in Wyoming. And I was hoping to have them before then, but they just the problem with small town like VAs and stuff like that, dude, is they don't have a lot of doctors and whatever. So when you need something, it's like, okay, yeah, we could see you in like 6 months, like we're in freaking Canada or something. It just takes forever to get in there. And I usually just don't use much of the VA because of that, because it's always been like that. But they're doing good. They're getting better, it seems like. So when I couldn't make it on the August date, they bumped me to freaking October. So here we go.
Mule deer don't really bugle. So,
well, I heard they do in Wyoming. No, I'm kidding. I don't think they do. It's gonna be cool, man. I'll be with my buddy. I think it's 4-Horse Outfitters. Fonzie, he's been on the show a bunch. So him and I are going hunting down there in Wyoming. Yeah, it'll be a good time.
Is that like a over-the-counter one,
or? Yeah. Well, no. I think it took me 2 points on that one. I can't remember. I've got a bunch of those going on. The only thing I haven't spent in Wyoming, I've got a lot of elk points. I think I'm at 6, maybe 7. I think 7 this year. I think. Anyway, I've got the spot. I've got this because Eastman's is out of Wyoming, right? And so they're giving me all the inside information where to save my bonus points. So if you're building points, dude, just let me know. I'll fill you in.
Yeah, well,
on the side.
Maybe you'll be packing out a cape when you finally cash all those in.
Yeah, we'll see, man. We'll see. Well, cool, dude. That's awesome. The biggest thing is just congratulations on a great bull, dude. I mean, it's such a huge accomplishment to watch, especially, man, for those of you listening that like have never experienced the woods in North Idaho and the jungle that it is, the reprod, the huckleberry brush, the thick timber, the darkness, the shadows, the steepness, and just
lines, the top
man,
fly, man.
Yeah, it's insanity. And so to walk in there with a bow and arrow and knock one of these animals over, it's a big deal, dude. So congratulations on that.
It takes some dedication.
Yeah, for sure.
And it only gets better because not only do I still have some hunting to look forward to, my old man, I talked him into getting the old B tag.
Oh yeah.
And he's still out of state. No, don't tell anyone.
I won't. It'll be our secret.
Yeah, but they changed it actually for Idaho this year too. You can't just show up at some counter and buy the over-the-counter tag anymore. You have to buy the hunting license and then hope you get drawn on a tag, which basically the way it was already running, the odds are still kind of the same from what I understand, because people were standing in line, hours early and still not getting a tag before they ran out.
Well, the problem was
the right spot to go buy one.
The problem was it was all mostly online, and so you'd have 100,000 people in this digital waiting room to buy a non-resident Idaho tag. and which would be fine, except for every freaking year the website would like crash and it would screw everybody. Like somebody be next in line kind of thing, and all of a sudden the website would crash and it would screw hunters. And like they'd have to start from scratch.
Who's got the faster server, whose computer's working a little better.
Yeah. It was stupid. It needed a change. I also didn't like how they made you buy it right like a month before. I think the tags would go on sale on like December 1st or 2nd, which is kind of a pain in the butt with, guys with families getting ready to, drop a bunch of money on Christmas. And there you go. You got to buy this, elk tag if you want to go hunt in Idaho right there at the same time of year. It's just, I don't know. It was a shit show, man. I'm glad they changed it.
Yeah.
I hope it's better.
A lot of things. They changed the seasons around a little too. And
yeah.
But so I'm looking forward to that. And it was the Friday after I shot my bull on Saturday. By the time I got the last bag off the mountain Sunday morning, and then that Friday, after I took my meat to a cooler and the cape to the taxidermist, came back and called in one for my good buddy, who's been like my number one hunt partner lately. So we ended up putting down a little 5-point the next, following Friday. that was
really
that was almost more exciting and rewarding than getting my own by myself finally. It was like this guy's a killer. I mean, he's put down big bulls every year he had like a 12-year 13-year streak or something like that.
Oh really?
And some of them are real big. And then he had like a 5-6 year dry spell there.
Wow.
And he's so to finally for it to come together for both of us in less than a week. And I was there to call him in for him, and
that's
break
so awesome.
Pack him out. It was just like, we are back, baby.
Man, you had a heck of a September, man. I love it, dude. That's awesome. Oh, well, I didn't know.
I'm going 3 years now, so I got to keep my streak up.
Yeah.
I got 3rd year in a row. My 3rd bull, but first one with a bow. So it's like,
that's awesome.
Now.
Yeah, man. I got this buddy of mine, this old man, by the way, for your B-tag hunt with your dad coming up.
Yeah,
I've got some pretty, and I found this to be very, very true. He told me this like 4 years ago, and he's been hunting North Idaho for I don't know how long, but it's like this in Northwest Montana too. So for that B tag, that rifle tag, if you found bulls in September, you know how everybody says, if you listen to a lot of these podcasts and whatnot, they're like, well, in September, the bulls are up here, and by October, they're over here, or they're down lower here, or in November, they're gone. Man, what he told me, he's like, if you found bulls where they're rutting, they're still going to be there on like October 10th when that Idaho season starts. And they're going to be there for the most of the month of October. So if you got bulls located in North Idaho or Northwest Montana that you were able to locate during September, they're still going to be there. And I've spent the last 4 years trying to either prove or disprove that theory because everybody kind of says differently. I found that old man that told me that to be very, very accurate. I think that's very true. So if you've got bulls located from a couple weeks ago, they're still going to be there in a couple weeks from now, and you can still get your sights on them.
Yeah, I've had a somewhat similar experience, but it's also, it depends on how pressured they are. I've seen them pushed clear out of
pressure,
where they were, and bugled one in on October 10th.
Mm-hmm.
But and I've seen, depending on the weather too, you probably talked about that. I went after them one October. I think it was more of a late October thing, but snow fell on the ground, and they were still kind of up high up top where they were in September. But once that snow hit, their tracks went down the hill and didn't come back up.
Yeah, so, snow's going to be a big indicator on that one for sure. But
the temperature, just kind of you'll see them kind of pushed out of some of their rutting areas, and you know how the big bulls, they keep their cows a little bit longer, and the satellites are kind of, defeated, and they'll
Yeah.
wander off and start kind of trying to recover. And that's when I'll pick them up. Sometimes, I mean, I've picked them up, early October in their winter browns.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But it just depends, what their September was like, probably, and the weather, and
Yeah.
you never really know.
Oh yeah. No, that's the thing. That's the thing about that. That's the thing with elk hunting, dude. There's no like 100% sure thing.
You'll
Definitely.
never figure it out.
Yeah.
I,
Me and
I don't
Tyler
care
were
who
talking
you
about it.
are.
Yeah.
That's what keeps you coming back. Is just,
Yeah.
you
Exactly, man.
always learn something new.
Yep. Yep. I kind of actually, that's kind of what bored me about fly fishing is
Yeah.
once I figured out fly fishing really well, dude, the fish are super predictable. You just like can't help but catch them every time. And that kind of bores me. I know what they're going to do. I know what they're going to eat. I know when they're going to hit my fly. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm bored with this. So, but elk hunting, I've yet to get that.
That's my problem with getting, when I find something that I want to do. Like, I grew up fly fishing, but then when I got back into it, I got obsessive and started fishing all the time, everywhere, and tying my own flies. But then it's just like, once I figured out these couple of flies that I can tie and where to go, when, I can catch fish every single time.
Yeah, man.
Without fail. And I still absolutely love doing it. But, elk hunting is nothing like that.
No, man, it's nothing like it.
Spend all my money on it, but it's just going to keep, it's just, they're never that predictable.
Yeah, they're just not, man. And I don't get me wrong. I'd go fly fishing with you. I'd totally do. That'd be, I love doing it. I love doing it. But
that little North Idaho secret. I actually go catch them fish with kind of the same gear, but with a fly rod.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so
year.
Our friend Steve.
Yeah.
He's actually, I ran into him one day up there. All I had was, my wife was with me, and all I had was her crappy little 6-weight that was the reel. She was left-handed, and for whatever reason the reel was like wound backwards.
Oh no.
So nothing short of a completely screwed up setup. But I tied the little piece of magic on there and laid into one, and the line was getting tangled up in the reel, and was chasing it up and down the bank. And freaking Steve was there, and he netted it for me. That was my first fish on a 6-weight, and I was like, well, I guess I'm doing this every year. I actually haven't been back to do much of that for a couple years now since
we need to let's go do it next spring, man. Let me know. I'll meet you up there.
I love that area, man.
Yeah, man. Let's go hit that river. I know exactly what you're talking. We're speaking kind of in code because it really is a secret spot and secret fish, in fact. So we'll just leave it at that. But
that taught me something else, because wherever you're in a mountain stream, I don't care what elevation you're at, if there's a fish in there that's this big, it didn't get there by accident.
Yeah. If there's small fish, there's big fish, right?
Yeah, there was a big fish there once. It had to. That's all I'm going to say. I won't give it any more.
Yeah,
tips.
Yeah.
This isn't a fishing podcast, for crying out loud.
I've tried to do some fishing episodes. They don't do as good as elk episodes do, man. So, well, shoot, man. Tell everybody where they could find you, and you should come back on the show sometime if you're game.
Well, as long as I'm successful, I got some story to tell.
Oh, shoot, you don't have to look at me, man. You don't have to be successful. Come on the show.
Cool. I got a Facebook. That's about.
You don't have like Instagram or anything?
No, Instagram got too creepy on me, man.
Did it?
I had it and it kicked me out, and they wanted me to take a video and basically send it nudes and like do all this weird stuff to get
blood samples.
yeah, to log back in, and I was like, to hell with this. I'll just, and even Facebook, like, I don't, I should get off of the damn social media, but
I know, right?
I got a business page. You want to go look at some of the neat things I've done, like Sticks and Stones LLC,
Oh, okay.
uh,
Yeah, man.
Sandpoint, Sticks and Stones Sandpoint. That's the one, because there's believe it or not, a lot of Sticks and Stones LLCs out there, but mine's just
Sticks and Stones Sandpoint.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Well, cool, man. Again, congrats on a great bull, dude. I'm kind of jealous of a bull that caliber. Very nice job. I appreciate you coming on and telling the story on it. And this is why we're doing this September Dreams series, man. Because your dreams definitely came true this month. Or well, now it's October. It's October 2nd today. But I always try to say the date in each episode so that people know, like, if something crazy happens, they're like, why didn't they say something about it? Because it might not have happened yet by the time this comes out. So that's why, folks. But anyway, brother, man, I appreciate it. Let's do this again, and congrats on a great bull. And shoot, man, let's just keep in touch.
Heck yeah, I appreciate it, and I can't stress it enough what you're doing, because the word needs to get out there. All this shady bull crap that's going on,
Yeah,
trying to take away our, it's our way of life. And they wouldn't know anything about that. Nobody cares more about bull elk than the one who just put one down and packed him out on his back, feeding my family for a while. I tell you
yeah,
what.
man.
And that the love for that animal, there's nothing like it. So you raise an awareness and bringing these things that people otherwise wouldn't even know are going on, like wolves in Wyoming was another recent one, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
It's you gotta that word's gotta get out there, and the hunters gotta tune in and work together on some of this crap, because
Bring some kind of unity for it all, for
well,
sure.
because apparently they'll just shoot you now. So.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that's a big topic. We should maybe jump back on this winter and talk about some of that stuff, because you have some unique perspective on it, especially because you did live in Washington for a while, and where that kind of the melting pot of all that takes place. But yeah, let's just plan for that, brother.
Yeah, man. Well, best of luck out there too.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, and let's just keep in touch and I'll just talk to you soon, man. I really appreciate it.
You made it! That's the end of the episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please make sure you're following us on Instagram at the Western Huntsman, and write us a good review at Apple Podcasts. Thanks, guys. See you next time. Stay Western, and I'll see you on the mountain.